What's up, everyone, and welcome to Project XTalk Extra, your weekly podcast supplement from Project XTalk. I'm Kevin, aka the Muffin Man, and today I'm joined by Tom and Aman. How you guys doing?
I'm doing great.
Fantastic. Had a great, movie experience over the week.
Well, those of you that clicked on the video and played this on audio will know that this is going to be a little different discussion than normal. It's not gaming related, but it is kind of in the realm of nerd culture. And since there's no news at all, we're going to talk about Spider-Man No Way Home. So the movie just came out. We've all seen it. We are going to do a brief non-spoiler discussion and then move into spoilers. I will let you know when we move into spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, you can stop listening. But Tom, I want to start with you. Non-spoiler, your overall thoughts. What did you think of Spider-Man No Way Home?
It was a really fun experience, and you get to see a little bit more of an emotional side of Peter Parker, which I appreciated since we didn't really get that with this specific Spider-Man, since Tom Holland took the mantle of Spider-Man. Uh, Overall, though, amazing movie. Highly recommend.
Aman, what are your thoughts about Spider-Man No Way Home?
This movie is a literal masterpiece. Like, wow. I was shocked. I was screaming. I was crying. It was a roller coaster. It was a roller coaster of emotions. Yeah, we do get to see the emotional side of Peter Parker. He's not Iron Man Jr. anymore. He's Peter Parker. He's Spider-Man. And yeah, this is the Spider-Man movie we've all wanted for so long.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you guys. This is a bit of a different tone compared to Homecoming and Far From Home, where, this is rounding out that trilogy. And we already know that Tom Holland is set to do 3 more movies. And I've heard up to 6 more movies. So he's going to continue as Spider-Man. We know that now. But going into it, we didn't really know how it was going to end. And this was a lot darker than Homecoming and Far From Home. Obviously, Far From Home dealt with the aftermath of Endgame and his relationship with Tony Stark. This one deals with a completely different new issue. Things that happened with it. It's like, wow, this is a Spider-Man movie through and through. If you're a Spider-Man fan, you know a lot about Spider-Man and Peter Parker is that he kind of is made to suffer. Like, that's his whole thing. He is very, like, through the heart. He gets a lot of terrible things happen to him, but he perseveres because he's a hero. And I think we see that in this movie.
Spoilers now?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys got nothing else to say, we can go into spoilers. Pretty short overall thought. Go see the movie. It's definitely a fantastic time. Since this is Project XTalk Extra, we don't go on for super long, so we're gonna jump into spoilers just after a few minutes, right here, right now. So this is your warning. You got a few seconds to click off or go somewhere else. Go listen to our other podcast because we're going to spoilers now. So I'm gonna count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time for spoilers.
Toby and Edgar in the movie.
Guys, what a movie. What a film. Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Holy hell.
Bro, my theater was going crazy.
Erupted.
I'm pretty sure every theater out there was doing the same
Everyone
exact
was
thing.
going crazy.
This is that scene where they come through the portals. I have looked up on YouTube just to feel again, like, oh my god, the chills.
All over. Oh god. Yeah, no, first it's like you see the portal, then you're like, why does he look different?
Mm-hmm.
And then why is he tall and lanky? Is that Andrew Garfield over there?
Yeah, why does he look different? And then you see him walk out and like, that's not Tom Holland. And then he takes off his mask and everyone just starts screaming. That was.
I mean, it was pretty obvious with just the suit that he had on. Once I saw the eyes, I was like, it's Andrew Garfield.
Waiting for the confirmation. Yeah.
But okay, so let's take it from the start. The movie starts with right off from where Far From Home picks up right from Far From Home with his identity being revealed, and then everyone's like, "Oh my God, Spider-Man's a murderer." He has that funny interaction, swinging MJ through his aunt walks in on them thinking they're gonna have sex. That's not what's going on. And then they get arrested, yada yada yada. It's not a story recap, but then we get our first big reveal after they get out of jail with Matthew Murdock, Daredevil, Charlie Cox showing up. Tom, how did you react?
I was spoiled about this forever ago.
Me too.
I saw the exact
Yeah.
screenshot. I was excited still because I was like, "Oh yes, it's confirmed." I can't wait to see him more in this movie. And then he wasn't in the movie anymore. But that's a big thing, I guess, for the MCU.
Yeah, but he had a great line. Like, how'd you do that? How'd you do that? I'm a really good lawyer. Like, catches the brick. Oh man, Amon, were you spoiled on that Charlie Cox was in the movie?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I was spoiled on this,
this
exact scene.
It was a good surprise. Half the people in my theater didn't know who he was. But yeah.
Oh, that's
only
sad.
the hardcore fans knew him. Only the hardcore fans knew him. Yep. That was a cool surprise. But yeah, I'm glad he's finally back in the MCU. You know, now we get to see Daredevil interact with like Spider-Man. And if you've seen Hawkeye, you know who else is back. So great.
How much Hawkeye have you seen, Tom?
I'm fully caught up. Well, no, I haven't seen the last episode.
You haven't seen the last episode,
but I know from the last episode before that's definitely Kingpin in that screenshot at the very end.
Yes.
That's why I'm hyped for this next episode.
Yeah.
I know that. Okay. I know that's the thing.
We're not going to talk about
spoiler. This episode is disappointing.
No, I disagree so much. This episode was fantastic.
No. It was my least favorite episode.
No way, man. Okay, Tom, don't listen to him.
This is not a Hawkeye discussion. Let's move on.
No, I'm trying to talk about Matt Murdock though, because like he is tied. I definitely think that now that he's back, Charlie Cox, this isn't the last we're gonna see of him because Daredevil is tied to Echo, and we already know Echo's getting her own show. Now that they reintroduce Kingpin,
She-Hulk. He could also show up at She-Hulk.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of ways on Disney Plus that Matt Murdock will probably come back. And I'm super hyped for that. Just wanted to throw that out there. So going on after that, what happens? Oh, he's trying to go to school. There's a bunch of funny scenes. Then, they learn they can't get into MIT because they're friends with Spider-Man and he's Spider-Man. They're like, we don't want you at our school. So he's like, I'm going to go to Doctor Strange and have you try to cast a spell to make everyone forget I'm Spider-Man. The spell doesn't really work. He kind of messes it up, as we know from the trailers. And then all the bad guys show up. And we first get that on the bridge with Dr. Ock showing up. And we knew this from the trailer. Still hype when he showed up, guys. What do you think about
see Alfred Molina back after like what 16 years? Yeah.
A
long time. I don't know the time frame, but a long time.
Yeah. And then we hear after he beats Doc Ock, we hear Willem Dafoe and the Green Goblin flying in, but Doctor Strange pulls a nope, not right now. But like the villains that came back, all right. I understand why they brought these ones back, but there's some inconsistencies, right? Like Electro doesn't know who
Peter Parker
Spider-Man is.
Exactly.
He never learned that. So why did he come through? Because it's only people that know Peter Parker.
Movies.
Exactly.
I know some people are like, well, he downloaded the information from the grid or something like right before he was about to die. And I'm like, yeah, but even later in the movie when Andrew Garfield takes his mask off, he's like, oh man, I wish you kind of was hoping you'd be black. I bet there's a black Spider-Man out there. So like he didn't know who he was.
Yeah. So it's stupid. It's stupid. But I appreciated the heroes that were there regardless. I really loved that they really centralized on Green Goblin as, the actual true villain of the entire movie.
For sure.
I thought that was perfect. It's a good callback. Like he was the villain in the first one. It's the best way to end him off. And William Dafoe did an amazing job as Green Goblin this time around.
He was great. He topped his performance for Spider-Man 1. He topped that performance. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Willem Dafoe was phenomenal in this movie.
He even got a murder in,
Oh yeah. Okay. Let's talk about that. So Peter tries to cure all the supervillains, and then before he sends them home, because he didn't want to send them all back to die, even though I still don't understand when they get sent back. Are they just being sent back to the moment they were about to die, but now they're cured. Like I'm still a little confused
Yeah.
on when they got sent back to. But that little plot hole aside, yeah, Willem Dafoe is like they're curing people, and then he goes off the rails as Green Goblin and ends up killing Aunt May, and we get a little blindsided, I think, because like at first I'm like, oh no, like, and then she gets up and you're like, okay, she's fine, and then he throws the bomb. Spider-Man 2 throwback, which to be honest, I kind of wanted James Franco to show up, but you know that might be a bit too far. And then she gets up again. We're like, okay, everything's fine, and then she collapses and she starts to die. And at that moment, I'm like welling up, like I'm like, they're gonna kill Marissa Tomei, like, and then they did.
I want to just say, by the way, I hated her as Aunt May.
Get out of here!
Yeah, I thought she was
No,
the worst
come
Aunt
on,
May.
dude. She was great. She was great as Aunt May.
No,
bro.
I was so happy when she died and delivered the infamous line that Uncle Ben gave to Peter Parker: "With great power comes with great responsibility." That's all we needed you for. You could have died 3 movies ago.
No, I disagree so much.
No. I disagree.
I get it, because this movie is supposed to be like, this is callbacks and fan service and like the accumulation of 20 years of Spider-Man. So it was fitting for the movie, but I was really sad that she died. Like very, very disappointed. Not like, oh man, we're gonna boycott the movie, but like, oh man, she's dead. That sucks.
I want to just say it's all Peter Parker's fault, by the way, if he didn't decide to change the spell. And also Doctor Strange. It's both of their fault. Like, you didn't have to change it. You didn't have to listen to him. You didn't have to
yeah, Doctor. So we kind of skipped over. So what do you think of the fight scene between Spider-Man and Doctor Strange?
It was fun.
It looked cool.
Did look cool.
Yeah, but
look cool.
Again,
I mean, I wasn't expecting
there's
much.
No way now
from
Spider-Man beating Doctor Strange because of geometry, man. Come on. There's no way now he's beating the ex-Sorcerer Supreme because of geometry. No.
Math. One because of math. So Aunt May dies. Peter's all sad, and then his Ned and MJ are trying to find him, and Ned can use magic now, because story. But which I thought was hilarious. Like, I'm not knocking it, it's funny. And then he creates the portals. He's like, find Peter Parker, and then Andrew shows up, and Andrew Garfield has some of the funniest lines in this movie. Oh my god, guys.
He was the best. He was the best out of all 3 of them. Like, oh my god.
For sure.
I miss him so much.
For sure.
The Amazing Spider-Man 3 was trending on Twitter for the last week now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I saw a rumor that Sony is going to explore the option of giving him like his own spin-off movies.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I was
Morbius is coming out next month. We could probably, because it has a lot of hints to the Andrew universe. Like the Daily Bugle logo is the same as Andrew's universe. Oscorp is the same as Andrew's universe. So maybe
I'm really confused about what's going on over there because Michael Keaton.
There's also Michael Keaton. Yeah, and then there's also a poster of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Yeah, so is Michael Keaton like a variant? And it's like he's still the Vulture in that universe. Like it's a whole thing. Like I need clarification on it. But I would love Andrew Garfield to get his own movies. Like give him justice, because
it doesn't even have to be part of the MCU. Just
exactly
his own thing. It's fine. Spider-Man has so many villains alone that it makes so much content.
Yeah, and they're building their own little world over there. Like they could throw him in the Morbius world, the Venom
or the
world,
Venomverse. Like they could just have him in the Venomverse. That would be cool.
Yeah, like that's completely fine. I feel like his lines are just so good. I feel like him and at first the chemistry between the 3 Spider-Men was kind of a little weird, but then it got really funny.
When he just hugs all of them and he was like, "I love you guys." Yeah, and they're both like, "Thank you." That was hilarious.
He has some good lines to Toby. He's like, "So are you gonna go into battle as like a youth pastor, or you got a suit with you?" Like.
He also had a great redemption where he saved MJ from falling off. Throw back to Gwen Stacy when she unfortunately didn't make it and he wasn't able to save her. But I love that redemption part. I felt like both Spider-Mans actually had pretty good redemption arcs.
Toby stopped Tom from killing Green Goblin. That sort of redeemed himself.
Yeah.
And Doc Ock, he had that interaction with him where everything
that
was like good.
That was That was heartwarming.
You saw all three of them like interacting, making jokes about like, oh, who's the like biggest bad guy you fought or whatever. And they were all like going through. He's like, I fought a Russian in a rhinoceros suit. Like,
I'm lame. That was And
Yeah.
then Toby's like, "You're amazing. You're the
You're
amazing."
amazing.
Spider-Man." That was yeah.
They had some good stuff. Did you guys get spoiled on the Andrew and Toby thing?
I knew
mean,
they were
like,
coming. It was pretty
everyone knew
obvious.
they were coming, but
There were
just
so many leaks. There were so many
Okay,
there's so
rumors.
many different leaks. I didn't know which one was real.
Yeah. So this I loved it and I still got chills the whole time, and I still get chills when I like think like, oh my god, is this actually a thing? But I did see a screenshot of all three of them together, so like I kind of like knew going in.
No, I saw that screenshot and I thought it was fake.
I well, I wasn't hoping, but like I was like, oh.
I
For
thought
me,
it was
more. For me, was like more all the interviews that like Andrew Garfield had and stuff. It was pretty obvious that this thing was happening.
Yeah.
There's no way that they would make this like big movie with a bunch of different villains and not throw them in there. So everyone expected this, and that's how like they built the hype around this movie. That's why they never showed them like, oh, we're gonna make so much money. And what is it? A number 3 top grossing movie of all time now?
Nice. Number two now.
And it was during a damn pandemic, by the way.
Yep.
So
it's already made $750 million globally.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it deserves it. This is undoubtedly my favorite Spider-Man movie. And
favorite MCU movie.
I'm really debating.
I wouldn't take it that far.
I can't decide if it's better than
my favorite MCU movie, dude.
I can't decide if it's better than Endgame for me. Is really where it's like it's either number 1 or number 2. And yes, I realize it's strictly because of like fan service, because is the plot like the most amazing thing? No.
There's a lot of plot holes.
Yeah, there's a few, but like if you start thinking about it, there's a few plot holes. But in terms of actual like how much did I enjoy the movie, like I cannot wait to watch this again.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna buy like the entire
I watched
Blu-ray
it
collection
three times already.
You see it 3 times already. So yeah, they defeat the enemies, and it ends with Spider-Man asking Doctor Strange to cast a spell and make everyone forget Peter Parker. Not even that he's Spider-Man, just forget Peter Parker. Which erases Ned and MJ's memory and literally everyone else's, I think, in the multiverse, because the other people from the other multiverses, that's the only way to send them home. So I'm wondering if he just screwed over Andrew and Toby.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
They can retcon that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little nitpicky there, but
they can say like, oh, they left because there was no Peter Parker in this world, so they weren't supposed to be there. That's what I would throw in.
Yeah, something like that. So I mean, he goes to try to like tell MJ everything and like try to fall in love again, but he sees that they're better off without him. And then we get the like classic scene of him going into that shitty apartment and then making his own comic book suit and going out to be Spider-Man.
Was so cool. That new suit looks so cool.
But it kind of is like a soft reboot, right? Like from right now, we're kind of at where Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man starts. Exactly. Like that's where we're at.
These first 3 movies were his like first movie. It was his origin story. Because we never really got his origin story in Homecoming. Like this trilogy was his origin story.
Tom, you were gonna say something?
I appreciate what they're doing with it. Honestly, moving forward, it's gonna be like a weaker Spider-Man. Doesn't have his mechanical suit. I want to see him struggle in life, like actually struggle. Like I don't like OP superheroes. I hate it so much. So I love the old Spider-Man movies a whole lot more, just because they felt more organic and you can feel their actual struggles. You never got that with Tom Holland just until this very last movie. So it makes me excited for the next trilogy for sure.
Yeah. For sure. Tom Holland's Spider-Man has been a lot more like upbeat and positive than the other ones. Andrew Garfield still has one of my favorite scenes ever when he's at his parents' gravestone, I believe. And if you know what I'm talking about, I think it's a post-credit scene. He's very emotional in that scene. It's great. So I'm kind of looking forward to, and Tom Holland gets me too. Every time he cries, I'm like, bro.
Yeah.
He's a phenomenal actor.
Zendaya was also great in this movie, I think. Yeah.
Let's talk about the post-credit scene. it goes to, if you saw the end of Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, you saw that Venom was transported to the MCU because of Doctor Strange's spell. And then we see Venom just chilling at a bar. The bartender's telling him a recap of everything that's happened in the MCU. And then he gets sent home after the spell happens, but a little bit of symbiote gets left behind, setting up, Venom in the MCU, which I don't know how I feel about, guys.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I wanted to see the actual Venom in this movie, but the fact that Venom's mind is like a hive mind, so like it technically should retain all the
Multiverse,
memory.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, that's why I got transported.
We'll still get the same Venom whenever he actually does find a new host. I'm assuming maybe another Eddie Brock in this specific universe.
Probably.
I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I mean, obviously we know we're going to get the symbiote Spider-Man down the line. I just want to see an actual Venom versus Spider-Man battle as well. It doesn't have to necessarily be Tom Hardy Venom.
Do we think that the Spider-Man 4, whatever they decide to call that, will be Venom, or do we think they're going to let it build for a little bit?
I think that's down the line.
I don't think Spider-Man 4 will be Venom. I think Spider-Man 4 they're gonna go do like Craven or something, and then Spider-Man 5 have like Venom in there.
I don't know about Craven, just because isn't Sony making their own Craven the Hunter movie?
They are, but then originally in No Way Home, the original plot line was like the main villain was Craven, and he's the one who kills Aunt May.
Sorry for the siren going off.
Oh.
So yeah, I don't know. I think Craven's still in their plans. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm just whatever they do.
They
I'm
also
sure
set up
that they'll do a
Scorpion
good
in
job.
Homecoming. They set up Mac Gargan's Scorpion, but they never used him. He could probably be there as well.
Yeah, and Black Cat. We got to see some Black Cat interactions. Hopefully, I would love to see that the series start with that, especially since
like Gwen Stacy, Harry Osborn. Yeah, get.
I don't know about Harry because he doesn't exist in this universe, right? Because that's what Norman said. Norman's like, "There's no Harry."
He said
here.
Oscorp doesn't exist,
and he said Harry's not here either, which made me think that he went and looked for Harry Osborn.
Maybe.
I guess we'll see. Like they can still technically be there, but maybe just there was no Oscorp and they weren't as big.
Yeah,
maybe they can build up and take over. Be like the new top like company like Stark Industries since they're no longer there. Who knows what's gonna happen in this trilogy?
It's possible. It's possible that they rise to power, and then Peter recognizes their names and is kind of mistrusting of them, and that could be a good sense of conflict for future movies. Last post-credit scene wasn't really a post-credit scene. It was a trailer for Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness, which got released today. Still awesome. I cannot wait for that movie. It's going to be so good.
Yeah.
The cameos that are rumored to be there.
I don't want to know nothing. Don't say nothing.
Oh, yeah. The cameos that are rumored to be there, they're insane. Yeah.
We know we're getting Miss America. She's in the trailer. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we're getting Wanda's coming back, Elizabeth Olsen, who you cannot love. I absolutely adore her. So I'm super excited for her to come back.
Mordo's also back. Mordo.
Yeah, and the evil Doctor Strange, which may or may not be from What If, yet to be seen, but super pumped about that because What If sucked, but he was a highlight.
What If did not suck?
What If sucked,
What If
man.
did not suck, dude? What If did
it was
not
so
suck.
the episodes were
a few episodes sucked, but it wasn't bad.
It was so bad. Oh my god, it was so bad. There was like 3 good episodes.
6.
The zombie episode was terrible.
That was okay.
Okay, that episode was disappointing.
It was fun throughout.
It was fine. I liked it less and less the more it went on. I think I liked it more when it started. Like the Agent Carter one I liked.
That was my least favorite.
The Killmonger one I liked a lot. That one was pretty good. But no, wasn't a fan. But it's cool if they start bringing things from What If because they're doing the multiverse into the MCU. That'll be exciting.
Yeah, I guess we'll just say.
Any remaining thoughts on Spider-Man No Way Home before we wrap it up, guys?
Go watch it if you haven't seen it already.
Yeah. Yeah,
Even though we
I had
just
a friend.
spoiled the
I had
whole
a
thing.
friend who hadn't watched. He didn't know anything about any of the movies. He just watched the previous ones. He didn't watch any of the trailers. He didn't hear about any of the rumors. Dude, the joy on his face was next level. I envied him so much throughout the movie.
Mm. Well, guys, that has been our No Way Home spoiler cast. Not really a spoiler cast because we're limited of time. We speed run it and then just react to the craziness that actually was in the movie because my God, I can't believe they actually pulled this off. It's crazy to me that they got all these people to come back and it works. It's a fantastic movie. So guys, it's been Project XTalk Extra. Make sure to check out the actual Project XTalk and Xbox podcast. Rate us on everything. Like, share, subscribe. Tom, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Alpaca Tom.
Amon, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Amon_M05.
And you can find me at the Muffin Mon. It's a 1 instead of an I and an O instead of an A. Follow us at Project XTalk to stay up to date. And we will see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Bye.